Hey guys, this is going to be the ultimate guide to video marketing. So we're going to look at YouTube in particular. So this is how you market yourself on YouTube. So there's lots to get through today because this is an ultimate guide. And you know, when I do my ultimate guides, I go deep. So this is actually part of a larger series. There's a free training course coming for you, which is going to go in a lot more detail. So if you like what you hear in this presentation today and you think, yeah, YouTube is something that I could really benefit from, I can see the potential in it, I want to go further with that, I've got a free training course coming very soon, so keep an eye out for that. So as you know, I've been doing YouTube for quite a long time now. I've been messing around with video marketing for around 10 years, but I never really made YouTube work until like fairly recently. I figured it out. There's a method, a system that you have to follow to make it work. So I'm going to walk you through the basics. This is for people who just want to get started, up and running fairly quickly. So what I'm going to show you today is 4 steps to help you plan your YouTube channel. Then we're going to look at the type of content you should be making. I'm going to walk you through the 7 habits that you need in order to achieve success. We're going to talk about equipment. So we're going to dispel a few common myths about the type of equipment that you need. And we're also going to cover monetization as well. So there's lots to get through today. So I've been asked to do this by quite a few of my subscribers because they want to get started as well. So, you know, this is for you guys and hopefully everyone else can benefit from it too. So why do people want to get started on YouTube? Well, it makes a lot of sense. In terms of creating a revenue stream, it's pretty easy. So a lot of people will flock or did flock to YouTube in the hope of creating passive income from ads. Now, in my experience, those AdSense ads are the least effective way to monetize a YouTube channel. There's better ways of doing it, which we'll talk about at some point, maybe in this presentation or in the free training course that I've got for you to accompany this this training series, this training video today. So let's get down into it. We've got a little bit of housekeeping to do. So the first thing that you're gonna have to do is find a niche. I'm gonna assume that you already have that. If you don't, then the free training course is absolutely going to set you right on that path. So keep an eye out for that. So let's assume that you do have a niche and you might have some idea, some kind of idea, is some indication of what you like, what you think you might like to teach people. Because when we delve into this stuff, it's all educational content. That's the important thing. That's what we need to focus on. So when you create a new YouTube channel, it's probably best to use a separate email address, a brand new one, maybe one that relates to your business or your website, and think very carefully about the username that you choose and the channel name that you have. Obviously mine is Profit Copilot. That's not my first YouTube channel. I have other ones previously that have just been my name, and that's fine if you're going down the personal brand, but I would encourage you to choose a brand name. I think they're long term, they're better for your business, but I'll leave it up to you. But do make something that's relevant to your business. Set up maybe a new YouTube channel if you need to, and then we also need to set realistic goals. So you might think, well, I want to have 1 million YouTube subscribers. I want to get tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views on my videos. That's great, but the chances of achieving that in a realistic time frame is unlikely, right? There's the exception to every rule, but generally speaking, we want to have realistic, tangible, achievable targets. So you might want to have, 50 views per video within your first month, or whatever is right for you. I don't want to make any kind of suggestions on what your targets should be, but let's keep it realistic. This is a long-term strategy, and it's going to require a lot of consistency in order to achieve a level of success on it. So let's talk about the four steps I've got for you to help you plan things. So grab a pen and paper. Let's knuckle down and go through this stuff together. So the first thing I want you to do is to describe yourself, and pause this if you need to. Okay, think about what you're into. Write down your interests, your passions. Write down who you are, who you believe you are, and what is unique about you. How are you separate from everyone else? For me, what separates me from everyone else in the marketing space is that these videos and podcasts and blog posts that I make are really for my son. It's so that when he's old enough, and maybe he's going to decide that he wants to go down the entrepreneurship road and create his own business. Hopefully, I'd love it if he did that, because I know how awesome that is. I know what kind of lifestyle that can give you, and the freedom and the self-esteem, and it's probably the best thing you can do. So if he chooses to go down that road, he's got a bunch of stuff, like hundreds of videos to help walk him through every step. So that's how I'm different from everybody else in my space, because I make these videos for my son, which means I don't pitch products that you don't need. I hardly pitch ever. I try and create the best possible content, the most reliable information available. And, if I'm trying to help my son, then that the information is going to be pretty good as well, right? So that you're in safe hands, because if this can benefit other people too, fantastic. So that's what separates me from everyone else. I'm really doing this for my son. So you think about what's unique about you, why you want to create your channel, what will help you stand out from everybody else. And also think about your favorite YouTubers. Think about the people that you keep watching over and over. Think about why you like them. What is it you like about them? So obviously there's something about their personality that resonates with you, but think about how they deliver the content, the frequency they upload. Think about why you come back over and over again to consume their content. And when you're creating your channel and your videos, let your personality come through. Let that shape the format of the videos. People are showing up on a regular and consistent basis to connect with you and your personality as well, just as much as the information that you give them. It takes a little bit of time to get that ball rolling, but don't hide yourself. Don't hide your personality. It's an asset, so let it shine through. And another little tip in this planning stage is when you're creating videos, you have to be in the right frame of mind. If you're not in a good place, don't do it. Wait until we all have crises, things go wrong in life and all that. And we have to get on with business and deal with that stuff. But when it comes to shooting YouTube videos, only step in front of the camera when you know that you're in a good place, relatively good place, and you can deliver and stay on topic. That's really important. So, you stay focused. And think about your body language. I don't know what percent is it. 90% of communication is non-verbal. So think about the way that you come across on camera, your expressions, the way I move my hands a lot, right? I'm all over the place, but that helps me stay focused. It helps me convey my point. It's actually not even like a conscious thing that I do, but think about your body language. And you might be all stiff and rigid and scared of the camera the first few times you do it. That's fine. That's normal. And own it. If you are stiff and rigid, then that's you. That's how you are. And don't be ashamed or afraid of that. That's it. Boom. Own it. Whatever you decide to do on camera, make it real. Don't try and be something you're not, because people will see through that. So you have to be your authentic self in that moment. So don't try and put on a performance. People we'll actually see through that. Your body language gives away a lot of stuff. Another thing to think about is that's my cat. She's gonna start. If there's noise, it's my cat. She's gonna start eating. I apologize for that. Hey, Boo. She's got Mabel, nickname Boo. Anyway, so you have to have a passion for what you're teaching. That's another thing. Teach people. Make it educational. Make sure the content is on point. So you're helping move someone from a point of not knowing about something to learning something. We're going to talk about content in a few minutes, but I just want to have a few basic tips for you. It's important, I think, to create some element of feel good in your videos. So you want to focus on the positives, help people create. People are surfing YouTube usually to kill time or to chill out. If you can make it as fun as possible, then I think people will appreciate that. On the flip side to that, I think it's important that we don't make people feel inadequate, because we're teaching them new stuff that they don't know, right? So we have to be kind of aware that, hey, not everybody is at the same level, so we don't want to speak down to people just because they don't know something. We want to be empowering, encouraging, supportive, create this positive experience for them. And also, I think when you're speaking to camera, to obviously speak as clearly as possible. This is something that I kind of struggle with sometimes because I get carried away with what I'm talking about. I just love the topics and the subject matter so much, and I feel so passionate about it. I tend to run away with it sometimes. And I know I can go hyperspeed, especially if I've had about 5 cups of coffee. Then all bets are off. But I see some YouTubers trying to do this. It's almost like a TV show thing. So they forget that on YouTube we're supposed to break the fourth wall. If you don't know what the fourth wall is, well, we've got like on a stage, on a performance, in theatre, you've got three walls around the actors, and then the audience is the fourth wall. On stage and on TV, they don't speak to the fourth wall, the audience. They ignore the audience to pretend that the audience don't exist. On YouTube, it's the exact opposite. We speak directly to the fourth wall. We speak to the audience because, this is not TV, so let's not try and make it like it's TV. This is real. It's real people. It's not high production, There's normal people sharing their knowledge and experience with somebody else who might benefit from it. That's it. So don't try and make it something that it's not. I don't think people necessarily like that. Especially if you're doing education. Speak to people like you're speaking to a friend. In my case, I'm speaking directly to Logan. He might never watch this video, but there you go, I'm speaking to him. In my mind, that's who I'm speaking to. So we kind of went a bit deep on that first step. The second step, which I'm not going to delve as deep into, is to research your viewers. So this is really about knowing who you speak to. And in the free training course that I've got for you, I'm going to delve deeper into that. So you're going to really get really clear on who you're speaking to and the best way to market to them as well. But for now, just have an idea of roughly who you want to speak to and think about the best ways to reach them. So where do they hang out? What do they do? And I think really knowing your audience, knowing who you speak to is the key to success here. There's quite a few keys to success, but knowing who you're speaking to is one of them. It's quite a major one. So stick to one niche. Don't try and do a whole heap of different topics on your channel. Keep it really tightly focused. Another tip, step 3. we're going to make to-do lists and follow it. So you got to stick to this stuff. So remember that making regular content, and it doesn't have to be amazing content, making regular content is more important than having absolutely mind-blowing content on an irregular basis. So listen, not all of your content is going to be awesome, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be. You just have to do your best in that moment and do it on a consistent and regular basis. If you can get that, then you're kind of halfway there. Having steady content, uploading on a regular basis is going to help develop a connection with your audience, because they'll come to expect your content at such a day when you upload. You're creating this habitual thing around your content, which is what you want. And that keeps your audience's attention. And it also creates more opportunities for them to share that content, right? So if you know that you're delivering stuff that they want, there's a high chance they're going to share it with other people. People share my videos without me asking them to, which is amazing. I surf around Facebook groups and forums and stuff, and I see people mentioning my videos or sharing my stuff. It's kind of mind-blowing, right? You think someone else values my stuff so much that they're going to share it with other people, recommend it to other people. So I think having a to-do list, so you have some kind of upload calendar, and sticking to that is really important. Also, step 4 is to brand your channel properly. We do that so your viewers, your audience will remember who you are. So there's actually a strategy to that, which I'm going to get into the free course that I've got for you that's coming soon. We're going to delve into branding. Branding is such a fascinating subject. It's really misunderstood. People think it's a logo or it's a nice banner, that kind of thing. There's so much more to branding. We have to really communicate our values, our message, who it's for, why it is, and we have to do it really tight. There's a method to it. I'm going to show you that in the course, if you decide this stuff is right for you. When you first sign up with YouTube, you're going to get like a generic channel. It's going to look like every other channel, so change it. Make sure that it doesn't look like everyone else's, because that's boring, right? So those are the 4 planning steps that I've got for you. I know that we've spent a bit of time speaking about them, but it's all good, right? So next, we're going to delve into content. So content is king. You've heard that before, right? Especially on YouTube, we've got a thing called watch time. So we have to create good content to keep the watch time high. So the watch time is exactly what it sounds like. So the longer someone watches your video, the more watch time you have. And then YouTube kind of credits your channel with exposure because of watch time. So the more watch time you can accumulate, the more YouTube will reward you for that. So that's why it's important that we plan our stuff out in advance, at least several weeks. In the free training course I've got for you, I'm going to delve into that again. So we're going to create lots of content ideas. You're going to come out of that feeling, you're going to have a really good plan for the next few weeks. You're going to be really focused and really clear on what you're going to create and when you're going to create it. Also, when we're talking about content, if you're a new YouTuber or you've been doing this a while, you'll know that the first few videos you make are like the best, right? You're going to throw all your eggs into one basket. You're going to try and make the best possible content that you can, and all your good ideas are going to go into your first few videos. That's normal. It's a normal tendency to do that, but what I would encourage you to do is to hold back a little bit. So use the first few videos almost like as a test. So experiment, talk about ideas, talk about why you believe in your topic, in your niche, why you think it's the absolute best thing on the planet, why everyone needs to do it. So how is it going to save the world? Think about that. Talk about it. Spend the first few videos talking about that stuff, and let the best ideas come out when you've actually got some foundations there, when you know that you can deliver it properly. And listen, you're gonna make mistakes, okay? So don't aim for perfection when you're creating videos. The little mistakes that happen, and they happen to me like so often, right? I keep them in. For the most part, I keep the mistakes in because I know that people understand that we make mistakes. It's not a big deal. And maybe it creates a level of vulnerability that you're putting yourself out there. You're allowing people to see your real, true personality, warts and all. I think people connect with that stuff. So don't try and create these highly produced, polished videos all the time. It's okay. So use the first few videos. Just get used to the process, and then put your awesome content in a little bit later on. No. And also concentrate on one subject per video. So don't dart around from subject to subject. If you're doing educational content, which I encourage you to do, you got to focus on moving someone from a starting point towards an ending point. So maybe they don't know anything about, I don't know, building a website. So you walk them through the first step of that. Or you can walk them through the whole process, as long as it's tightly focused on one subject, one topic per video. And this allows people to absorb the information. So we want to keep it tightly focused. So if you're speaking about 5 different topics in one video, no one's going to remember that stuff. They're not going to benefit from that. So think about what's right for your audience. Become the guy who talks about X thing. For me, it's usually traffic. So I like to teach traffic strategies. That's what a lot of people come to my channel for. And I also include like satellite content around that, stuff that might be of benefit to people who are also interested in traffic generation. So marketing strategies. So start off really tightly focused on one topic and then expand out over time. So, excuse me, that's my phone going. Also, if you can, in addition to creating content, if you can go out and connect with other YouTubers, this is going to be really beneficial as well. So you can create content with them, invite them onto your channel. You might be invited onto theirs. Make sure that, more important than exposure, it's important that you both have the same values. So I think if you attract the wrong audience, my phone's going. If you attract the wrong audience on your channel, that's kind of like a recipe for disaster, right? Because you might have an audience, which is great, but if they're not the people that you would naturally resonate and become friends with anyway, then listen, they ain't gonna hang around, right? If you stick to your guns and you make your values really clear, then I don't know. I think that's more important than having a large audience. I think having the right audience is what you really want. So let's talk about equipment a little bit. So we've spoken about content very briefly. When it comes to equipment, I see a lot of people recommending stuff that you don't actually need. And hey, they've got an affiliate link for that product underneath the video, right? Hey, you need this DSLR camera. It costs $700. Here's a link to it. You don't need a DSLR camera. I'm going to speak about equipment more in the free course for you. I keep talking about this free course because I've spent a long time making it. I've made the best possible thing that I can, and I want to give it to you for free. If this is of interest to you, I'm testing this out on the YouTube channel and on the podcast, really to see if there's a demand for this type of content. And then I have the free one for people who are interested in this subject. So when it comes to equipment, your phone is going to be fine. Don't worry about it. You don't need to invest in lighting. All that stuff helps, right? Good microphone, lights, good camera, backdrop, that kind of stuff all helps. But you don't need it. You know, when you're first starting out, use what you've got. It's going to be a phone, right? More than likely a phone with a camera on it. Just use that. Don't worry about it. Okay. Also, when it comes to putting your videos together, let's say you've shot your video, you know what content you're speaking about. Think about the title of your video. This is going to play a massive role in whether it's a success or not. We want the title of your video. Think about headlines. So there's different types of titles we can use. So I'm going to go through this and again in a lot more detail. Everything I talk about here is covered in way more detail in the free course. But what I want you to think about is the keywords that, you know, what people are going to search for in order to find the video. And listen, again, there's a strategy with your keywords. So you can't go for these big, broad keywords. So for me, I couldn't compete under a key phrase like internet marketing. There's just no way, because the competition is too tough. I don't have the authority, the link juice and the channel authority and all that stuff to compete, you know. So we've got to go long tail. We've got to go, we have to break the niche in half. So it could be internet marketing for X, Y, or Z. So we break it down. So think about your video and the niche and then the sub niche. So break it down. Think about the title. And also with your title, because we're looking at these like headlines, if we can put in an emotional trigger in there, maybe we can trigger curiosity in some way. That's one, you know. An example of that is clickbait, but don't do clickbait. Avoid that stuff. You know, the premise of clickbait is to trigger curiosity, but it was taken to such an extreme. And what happens with clickbait, and this is why you should avoid it, is because it makes a promise that is not delivered on. And that's why no one likes it, because it creates this outlandish claim. You click through and it's like completely different to what you're expecting, right? Or it doesn't live up to the hype. So there is a lesson to be learned from that. Also, think about the length of your video. So this is going to take some experimenting. I would always encourage you to create short videos early on and then increase over time as your watch time increases. So if you're shooting like an hour-long video, think about the audience. You know, at the moment, when you're first starting out, you might not have an audience and they don't know you. The chances of them sitting through an hour-long presentation when they don't know what they're getting is kind of unlikely. But if they do know you and they know that you deliver good stuff, then sure, they're going to sit through an hour-long presentation. So you're going to have social proof on your videos as well. So if you have an hour-long video and the view count is like 5 and someone lands on that, they think, well, only 5 people watch that and it's got no likes, I'm going to click back. But if you have like 200, you know, or 2,000 or 20,000 views on that video and then dozens and dozens of likes, people are going to watch that video because they've got that social proof. And even dislikes count as social proof too. View likes and dislikes as equal. Don't get offended or annoyed when people dislike your videos. the worst thing someone can do is ignore your video. So if they don't interact or react with it in any way, what YouTube wants to see is people interacting. Negatively or positively, it doesn't really matter to YouTube. So do take the time to experiment a little bit with the length of your videos. And your videos should always leave people wanting more. I think there's over 1 billion visitors on this website on YouTube every month. And I could be wrong, but I think there's 6 billion hours of YouTube watched every month. And that has increased. I think it increased about 50% in a single year. And I've heard that something like 300 hours of video are uploaded every minute on YouTube. Something crazy like that. I'll double check. But think about all that volume of video being uploaded. You have to compete with that. And you can compete with that, but you have to be consistent with it. You have to be strategic. You can't rely on luck. I relied on luck for a long time with YouTube. Didn't work. It's when I figured out the strategy, the formula behind it, started implementing it, that's when things started to happen. And listen, you don't need a massive audience in order to get really good results. The free training course, which I'm talking about again, but listen, it's going to help you to get profit from less than 1,000 subscribers. That's the whole point of it. So to help you make a full-time income from less than 1,000 subscribers. It's achievable, but it's important that the content you create has this high engagement with your audience. So you got to know who you're speaking to, And a good way to do that, I suppose, is at the start of your video, is to maybe ask a question or make a promise. You'll notice on my videos, I make a promise. I say, this is what you're going to get. This is what's going to happen. So that's how I do it. Maybe you can find a better way. Also, thumbnails are really important. They're probably the most important part of your marketing strategy for YouTube, because people will read titles and they might click through, but the big thing is the thumbnail. That's what they're going to see. So you have to make it pop. There's a lot of boring thumbnails on YouTube. So you're going to make yours stand out, right? So before I talk about the 7 habits, 7 habits of success on YouTube, I've got to tell you something. When it comes to monetizing, I've already said that YouTube ads are the least profitable way to make money, right? But something else to consider is the ad blocking software that we see. So this is going to, because so many people use ad blockers, and I don't blame them. Because ads, nobody likes them, right? But hey, it's a way to monetize our channel, so why not? If we want free money, it would be silly to ignore it. But we can't rely on AdSense, on YouTube ads. The earnings aren't particularly great, plus more people are using ad blockers. So long term, it's not a great strategy. So I'm going to talk you through some different options in a few minutes. So before we get into that, just so we're all clear, here are the 7 habits of successful YouTubers. So the first one is to be creative. You got to have that. If you don't have creativity, then this might not be the right option for you, because you're going to have to create content, lots of good content on a regular basis. So you're going to have to know what you're talking about. The second habit is proper scheduling. So make sure that you upload on a consistent basis. Tell your subscribers when you're going to upload so they know when to expect your content, and this creates that habitual thing that we need. Also, habit 3 is to encourage your subscribers and viewers to take action. So we want this to translate or convert into money, right? We can have 1 million viewers, but if nobody is taking action, then it's kind of pointless. So in the free course, I'm going to talk you through your options, But you're going to have to decide what conversion is for you. So do you want people to subscribe to your email list? Do you want them to click an affiliate link? Do you want them to buy your product? Whatever it might be. And I've actually got the most lucrative business model, and I use this myself. I actually use multiple income streams, but the most profitable one is what I'm going to walk you through. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So think about what action you want your subscribers and your viewers to take, and also ask them to promote for you. Ask them to share your video. Ask them to like it. Ask them to subscribe. So ask them to take action. And then habit 4 is to communicate properly. So instead of coming along and saying, here's the information, blah 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 blah, and going through it, think about the people at the other end. So communicate in a way that they will appreciate. Instead of doing this TV thing, approach them as a person, right? As a human being, and ask them things. Speak to them in a way that is conversational. So it's just like they're hanging out with a friend. And I think if you can do that, then your personality will shine through and you'll be able to make that connection easier. Habit 5 is to work with the right people. So team up with people who've got the same ethics and values as you have. If they've got a large following, fantastic. But I put values and ethics above audience size, because you got to have the right audience. The size of the audience doesn't matter too much as long as it's the right one. Then habit 6 is to test and measure. This is really important. So use being small to your advantage. Use being a new YouTube channel to your advantage. So test things out, try different formats, experiment, right? Just play with it. Just habit 7. The next one is have fun, but that's really easy when you're first starting out because you're not sure what works and you're kind of finding your feet. So habit 6, test and measure. So have a look at your analytics. And habit 7, have fun with it. So make it an enjoyable experience. So if you enjoy creating these videos and sharing your knowledge, then I think people will enjoy watching that and receiving that content, because you're creating that positive experience. So that's the 7 habits of successful YouTubers. But what about the tools? I mentioned metrics and analytics, that you have to keep an eye on that. So when you're testing things out, you look at your analytics. We've also got, YouTube Analytics is free to use. And it has so much information. You're going to get loads of demographics. You're going to get watch time, retention rate. Everything you need to know about your channel is going to be in there. So have a look around. Spend a bit of time exploring YouTube Analytics. See what's on offer in there. You're going to get loads of information. Also, another tool to use could be YouTube Trends. Just Google that and you're going to see the trending content, most likely in your country. So if you want to see what's popular, and you might, here's a little tip. If you want to get lots of exposure really fast, have a look at what's trending on Google Trends and on YouTube Trends, and then make content that talks about that, but relate it to your niche. So make it relevant to your topic, to your core topic. And then you're going to get like a lot of exposure. Hopefully you're going to get a lot of exposure from doing that. So you're kind of hijacking trends and siphoning some of that traffic towards your video. So while we're talking about tools that we can use, we've got loads, but I'm thinking really about what's on YouTube, what's readily available to you on YouTube. We've got YouTube Studio as well, which lets you edit, very basic editing of your videos. So if you don't want to invest in any software, listen, you don't need to buy software. What comes as default on your Mac or your PC is perfectly fine. That's good enough. But if you want to do just some trimming on your footage, then YouTube can do that for you. Also, they've got a couple of different types of video. So we've got the normal upload video, so you can upload your file, and then you can publish it live, or you can schedule it, or we can do a live broadcast. So you just hit go, and then your broadcast is live. It's out there. People can watch you make mistakes in real time. We've also got another one, which is Premiere, which I use sometimes. So what I do is pre-record a video and then upload it, but schedule it to go live a few days ahead. And what this does, when you do it as a Premiere, it notifies your subscribers that this video is coming on X date at such time. Here's the URL to save. So this allows you to email your subscriber list, your email list. It allows you to post it on social media with the link and say, this is going to happen at such time. Bookmark this link, and you can create an element of hype around that, get people excited for it. And then when it premieres, it works in a similar way to a live stream. So it's played for the first time, and then whoever lands on it, so maybe it started 20 minutes ago, they will land at the video 20 minutes into the presentation and then watch from that point. They can't rewind it or anything like that. It's just like going to the cinema. If you walk into the cinema late, then they don't rewind the film for you, right? So it's similar to that. But when the video ends, of course they can go back and watch it from the beginning. Now, the nice things about YouTube Live and YouTube Premiere is the super chat feature. So you can chat in real time with your audience, which I love doing. Every time I've done a live or a premiere, I've just been able to communicate directly with my subscribers. And do you know what I found in doing that? Is I have got the best subscribers in the world. I'm not kidding. I mean, what I get from the chats with these guys is like, wow. My targeting is on point. The qualifying procedure that I have around my ecosystem is on point. It weeds out all the douchebags and people we don't want, and what I'm left with is a subscriber base that is absolutely awesome. And seeing this for the first time, actually interacting with my subscribers, has allowed me to make a commitment to them and to myself that I will absolutely do whatever I can to help these people out because they're so awesome. And maybe you know what it's like in the internet marketing world. We've got sharks, we've got some really nasty people. Thankfully, far and few between, but we do have a lot of scammers out there. What I've seen from doing this YouTube experiment with Profit Copilot is that I'm attracting the people who are actually really decent, and they deserve the best content that I can produce because I'm attracting the ones who deserve it, right? So, excuse me, hopefully, if you do super chat with live or premiere on your channel, you'll see what kind of subscribers you've got. And it might surprise you by how awesome they are. It surprised me. I wasn't expecting just that level, that quality of subscriber. Blew me away. So that's the default built-in tools for YouTube. Let's talk about monetization. So monetization is a big area that we can delve in really deep if we want to. But let's talk about what works. Okay. What works is using YouTube and your YouTube videos, what's called top of funnel content. So what we do is we create content that helps people go on a journey. So we walk them through a transformation of some sort. We create and provide educational content. This helps them to achieve something that they might not have been able to do before. And then we say, hey, if you want more of this kind of stuff, if you found this useful, I've also got this for you. And then we walk them into the rest of a funnel. And I know that funnels can be a bit funny. People think, oh no, I'm going to have to invest $300 a month in ClickFunnels. It's going to be expensive. All that. You don't need to do that. You can do it really cheap. You can actually do it for free if you want to do it. But what we do is we deliver value. That's really important. And then we say, if you want more, I've also got this for you. And then in that process, in that follow-up process, where they now get to know you a little bit, I'll explain this in a second, the different types of traffic we've got. But once they know you a little bit, they start to trust you, and they will trust your recommendation because they can see that you actually care about them and you know what's best because you've achieved whatever it is that you're teaching them how to do. So, of course, they're going to trust you because, hey, if you've done it, they can do it too, right? So, for that to happen, we have to know what type of traffic we're dealing with. There's 2 types of traffic. Let's keep it really simple, okay? There's 2. Only 2 that we need to worry about at the moment. There's cold traffic, people who land on your website, on your YouTube channel or your website. They don't know you, don't know anything about you, and they've got no reason to trust you or buy from you or buy based on your recommendations, right? So, what do they go through? What they consume your free stuff. And they might go through all your videos. It might take them a while to warm up to you. Some people will warm up straight away. They'll see your personality and think, well, this guy is trustworthy. I will go further with this guy. This is the guy I'm going with. And then they'll be happy to go deeper into the funnel at that stage. Some people, it's going to take them a while. That's fine. The important thing is to keep delivering value, so people can see that you're different from everybody else. Because everybody else out there, they're just making pictures. They're saying buy this, buy that, and they're doing it to cold traffic, and they're not succeeding. They're failing, and I want you to succeed. So deliver value, warm people up, get them to know that they can trust you. Prove that by actually helping them in advance. Then, when they've warmed up, they become warm traffic, and warm traffic know who you are. They trust you a bit, and they're willing to take more action. So they might subscribe to your channel, they might comment on your videos, they might share it, that kind of thing. Why do we share videos? Why do people share this? This is going off topic a little bit. Why do we share? It's because we want people to feel the same things that we feel when we consume that content. That's why we share. So if you can make people feel something in your videos or in the experience, they will naturally, in a lot of cases, want to share that with someone else. They want to share those feelings. So if you can do that, you're going to bring more people, more cold traffic into the funnel, right? Warm them up, then bring them further into what's called the middle phase. So that is when they subscribe to your email list, and I do encourage you to do that. Get them to subscribe to your email list. And then you start a follow-up sequence. So this is where you, again, deliver value. You're in every interaction they have with you, you have to deliver value of some sort. You can't get out of doing that. You can't just pitch. People don't want it. You don't like it. Think about what you're willing to tolerate when you encounter a marketer. If they're pitching to you all the time, what do? You unsubscribe, you walk away. You say, well, that guy's just like everyone else. So I want you to stand out from everyone else. I want you to be the guy that people go to, or the girl, the woman, whatever, right? So to do that, deliver value in the follow-up sequence. And in addition to that value that you deliver, you will occasionally say, and there's also this, which is going to help you too. And that recommendation leads to an affiliate offer or a product you've made or something that is going to help them. This is really important. So we don't just take random products and throw them out. We have to make sure that the products we recommend actually solve the problem that they are having. And bonus points if you can recommend products that you've personally used yourself, that you can personally endorse. I encourage you to do that. Because, would you recommend a restaurant to a friend that you've never eaten in? Of course not. Right? So do the same online. You'll notice that if you're on my email list, and you should be because you get even more value that way, you'll notice on the rare occasions when I do pitch a product explicitly, you'll notice that it's either a product I've made myself with my own hands, so I know it's good quality, or it's a product or an item that I have personally used. So for example, I sometimes recommend, when it comes to audio stuff, a series of microphones. And every microphone that I recommend are ones that I own. And in my recommendations, I actually hold them up and say, this is the one. Let me show you, okay? So like the Zoom HM4, whatever it is, that's it there. Right? I recommend that if you're stuck for audio. That's a good one. So only recommend stuff that you've personally used, if you can help it. Okay? And that goes for training courses as well. And if you get an audience, you start getting traction, then listen, when it comes to promoting offers, you're going to get them. You're going to get those training courses and those books and everything for free, because people or the marketers will recognize that you've got an audience that they want to tap into. So they'll say, hey, I've got this training course, or I've got this book. I'd love for you to check it out. If you like it, can you recommend it? And I'll give you 50% commission. If you're doing that, if you're going down the affiliate road, I would encourage you to accept offers of 50% commission rate or above. Now, some software like ClickFunnels, for example, I think they offer a 40% commission rate, which as things go, that's below average. So if you're promoting digital products, then you would expect between 50% and 75% commission. Listen, I've got free videos on YouTube that's going to walk you through affiliate marketing. And we can apply affiliate marketing to YouTube as well. It's perfect for affiliate marketing, as long as you capture the lead in advance. So we only promote affiliate offers or anything to warm traffic, people who already know and trust us and have subscribed to the email list. I see a lot of videos trying to use the video to sell a product. And that works for a little bit, but you will eventually burn out your audience when you do that. I hate seeing channels who fall into that trap. And you can't say, hey mate, don't do that, because people, you got to let people, I think you've got to let your competition figure it out for themselves in a lot of cases. But I hate seeing it, and I think the only way people will overcome that trap and escape that trap is when they realize for themselves that it doesn't work, and they start losing traction, they start losing followers, their audience and the retention rate, the engagement rate starts to drop. They're like, well, okay, maybe I need to adapt. So the way to avoid doing that, because I care about my subscribers, is don't even try to sell through video. Certainly not until you get a quite a sizable audience. Then you can get away with it, because it's all about conversion rates, right? So if you have got 50,000 subscribers, then you're going to get fairly decent conversions from promoting products via video at that level. As long as you're not doing it every single video, then you are going to burn out your subscriber list. But I think you got to promote and market to people the way that you want to be marketed to. So you don't like being sold to over and over and over again, right? So don't do it to your audience. Deliver value, make it all about value. Warm them up when it feels natural, when you have something of value that's going to help solve their problem. That's the key to it. That's how you do it. Okay. Listen, I've got that free training course for you. If you look here, at some point, there's going to be like a little box thing that you can click on. I'll leave it there. I hope you found this useful. If you've liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again, guys. Take care.